We expected a new trailer with 0 miles. That's what we bought, a 0-mile trailer. We expected 0 problems, and that's not what we got.
Will the RV dealer or the manufacturer help him? Find out next. Hi, I'm Liz. What you're watching on this channel is Social Media in Action. It's using social media for good. It's through the power of this platform I've been able to help owners of defective new RVs stuck in a nightmare. In less than a year, I have been able to get 11 buybacks, numerous cash settlements, and factory repairs. This is all thanks to you for liking, subscribing, and sharing, making this channel the force that it is. Today, you may be surprised to find out that we're talking about Forest River yet again. I will tell you why that is and why I might have a pig in this race later in the video. But first, let's hear TJ's story.
This is a brand new Forest River Wildcat 262 RSX, and it is a 2024 trailer. We got a little bit of a discount because it had been sitting for a while on their lot, and it is the Pacific Northwest full-time living version. We purchased in Warren, Oregon from Family Fun RV. I have owned several RVs before. Most of them were of the teardrop variety. My mother became sick with Alzheimer's in 2015, and I had to spend 10 years taking care of her. And when she finally passed away, I took whatever money we had left from selling the home, left to be a full-time overlander with my adventure partner. We quickly realized after several months in the little teardrop trailer that the climate we were in wasn't acceptable. And so we went looking for a bigger RV. And the intention was to buy property and place the RV on property. We did a lot of research. I looked at a lot of videos. We went to 3 or 4 different RV dealers that were in our area because we don't have a vehicle to tow a bigger RV. So we knew that we'd have to have it delivered to our campsite until we got property. We finally came across a RV dealer who I thought I had bought my little tab teardrop trailer from, but it turns out that that wasn't the same dealer. They were across the street from that dealer. We purchased what we thought was a good quality trailer. All the reviews said it was good. It had been sitting on their lot for a while, so it was marked down from the normal price. We walked through it. I actually went back and walked through it twice. We walked through probably 40 trailers on their lot. This one fit our needs best because my adventure partner had very specific requests. One of them was having a separate bathroom with shower because we are both on the spectrum, and for her, bathrooms and showers are a game changer. They have to be very specific. We signed the paperwork, put a deposit down. We came back the next day to give them the certified check, and they said, okay, we'll come back in about 4 or 5 hours. We should have it ready for you. And when I came back, he had an additional couple pages of paperwork to sign, and he says, oh, and this is for the extended warranty. I says, well, I don't need an extended warranty. It's a brand new trailer. Everything should be fine. He says, well, if there's anything wrong with it, we don't fix it. It has to go back to the factory. And I thought that was a little odd. You know, you've got a service center right outside your sales office. There's all kinds of trailers in there being worked on. You should honor the factory warranty if you're a factory authorized dealer, which they were. But when we went out to look at the trailer, basically it was some young kid. They had the lights on and the TV running. He said, okay, you've had RVs before. You understand what all this stuff is. Take a look and tell us what you think. In the meantime, their transporter is rushing us to get it hooked up to get it out of there. He's out there trying to hook up his truck as we're trying to look at it. We just felt rushed, but we didn't have any time to look at anything. We didn't know how anything worked. You know, I haven't had a trailer that has those types of advanced systems, you know, like TVs and cable and antennas and slide outs, black water tanks and freshwater tanks and all that. So I didn't really get a very good look at it to begin with. As soon as we got it back to our campsite.
I've purchased 2 RVs brand new, and both times I had to replace the mattress. In fact, the first time I cratered that mattress in 3.5 weeks. So if you're shopping for a new RV, you're likely going to need to replace that mattress too. And of course, if you're shopping for used, you'll definitely want a new mattress. I've been sleeping on an RV mattress by Brooklyn Bedding for nearly 3 years now, and I love it. In fact, since I've been sleeping on the Aurora Luxe, I now wake up pain-free. They have a wide variety of mattresses, and they come in RV sizes like king short and queen short. There's a 120-night sleep trial and free shipping right to your door. The mattresses can be kind of heavy, so you might need some help getting it in the door, but it's fun to watch it puff up. If you're interested in an RV mattress by Brooklyn Bedding, don't pay full price. I can get you 30% off your entire order. Just go to rvmattress.com/LizAmazing, put in the coupon code LizAmazing, and you'll save 30%.
Their transporter delivered it 37 miles to our campsite. The transporter basically lowered the jacks, opened the slide out, and took off. No instruction whatsoever. This was basically our first time trying to figure out how everything works and how it operates. And all the videos that I had seen on YouTube, people say, okay, well, the first thing you want to do when you connect to the campsite water is turn the water on and bleed any air out of the system. So we opened all the faucets, turned the water on, and we immediately had leaks. First, we had leaks, the city water connection on the outside of the RV. Then we had leaks around the spigot on the kitchen sink. And then we noticed that there was water on the floor behind the toilet and water on the floor along the bedside table that looks like it had run from the bathroom sink. So we opened up the bathroom sink and there was standing water under there. At least 3 or 4 inches of standing water. It was up to the bottom of the framing for the cabinet. The troubles just got worse from there. Every single time we were investigating something, we found another water leak. And something else was wrong is upon delivery, we had to pay for propane tanks because they weren't included in the price of the trailer and they were not filled. When we connected them to the trailer after filling them, I smelt propane gas. There was a leak. I called over our camp host. He used to work at several RV factories. He says, well, you need to call them, tell them you got a propane leak. And then when they get here, tell them about the water leaks. The next morning, they sent out a tech. He tightened the propane tank and said, oh, these things always leak. You're probably going to end up having to replace it, but you didn't buy the extended warranty, so we're not going to cover it. Then he did seal up the base of the shower that was leaking, because as soon as we turned on the shower when we got the trailer at the park, water was pouring out of the bottom of the shower, basically under the wall. He insisted that the water was running from the shower base into the shower curtain and then dripping, but the water was coming out from under the wall. We just continued to have water leaks. We were dealing with them the best that we could by mopping them up and just not using them. So we couldn't use the shower. The whole reason we got the trailer was so she could have hot and cold showers. The bathroom sink, because there was water leaking underneath it, we had a drip pan there to catch the water. We assumed it was coming from the outside shower port because it looked like it was dripping off there, but we weren't positive that's where it was actually coming from. We stopped using the bathroom sink, so now we have a bathroom that we can't use. And then the toilet started leaking. And it turned out on the toilet, it was the water supply line. I mentioned it to our camp host. He came out with some tools and it just needed to be tightened up. It seems like everything associated with the water and the plumbing system on this thing leaked. Even the water connections to the hot water heater were leaking, but I tightened those up. After we'd been in it for a while, I mean, we paid for an RV that we can't use half of it. We started noticing an odd smell. Then we found mold and mildew behind the dinette cushions on the wall. So we pulled that all out and got some mold killer and we took care of all that. And then it came back again. And so we're putting all those little dry ease packages and dry ease tubs all over the trailer, putting them in the bottom of all the cabinets because we noticed that there is mildew, which will lead to mold, pretty much everywhere in the trailer. We had one small dehumidifier that we had in the bedroom area. We bought a larger one, put it in the main area, and we're still battling mold. And we're still battling mildew everywhere. We decided to investigate under the dinette. And so I said, well, it's only screwed together. Let's go ahead and unscrew it and pull it apart and see where it's coming from. That whole dead space was just covered with black mold. I am allergic to mold and penicillin, which is the subsidies of mold. So we wanted to get that handled. The other thing that we had a problem with was they never gave us keys that fit the under the bed storage compartments on the outside of the trailer. We called several times. I emailed, I texted. I had 5 different numbers I was contacting saying, hey, we have water leaks. We don't have keys. When am I getting my keys? They just basically ignored us and stopped responding. Well, I did manage to find the line rep for Forest River's Wildcat line. He sent me a link to a form to fill out. Never heard anything back from Forest River. And then I found a number for Forest River customer service, and I called that. It was disconnected. So I found another number online. So I left a voicemail, told them what I had, that I was having problems, what my phone number and name was, and never heard anything back from them either. Now that doesn't surprise me because my previous trailer is a Forest River and I had a lot of issues with it. And then as time went on, the underbelly of the trailer was sagging down really low. So I put my hand up on it to look at it, and it was full of water. I checked the other side. The other side was full of water. So I took my knife, poked some holes in it. All the water came rushing out. It was at least several gallons. And then I peeled back the liner and looked. And that's when I discovered probably 50 to 100 and a bunch of eggs of these black stink bugs, but I'm not sure that that's what they are. And we have been battling those since the day we got the trailer. They seem to congregate around the vents for the heating and air conditioning, and they also seem to congregate around the underfloor storage that we don't have keys to. They're little black beetles. They're not very aggressive, but if you grab them with Kleenex and put them outside, then all of a sudden there's 5 more. It's like they can communicate. They are very active in this trailer. The wood that you could see up above the water belly, which is, the bottom of the floor, was just soaked, saturated with water, which means that we have the risk of mold, mildew, delamination of that material. Is the structural integrity of the trailer. I'm an engineer, and I understand that that is a big no-no. We just haven't been able to get anybody to do anything. I'm on the autism spectrum and I do mask extremely well. It bothered me, but I internalized that. However, my partner is the opposite. She has Asperger's. Everything for her is a meltdown. If things aren't right, then there's a meltdown. So I'm having to deal with not only the fact that we have issues that we need to address, but I'm also having to deal with her discomfort over the situation. She was so upset with this that she packed her clothes in the middle of the night and left. I don't even know where she's at. Not to mention, this was pretty much all of the savings we had left after my mom passed away from selling the house and moving out. This is everything we had. I think the first thing I would have done was to hire an RV inspector and had them come out and thoroughly go through it before I even considered putting money down on it. The other thing is that I should have probably checked into this dealer more. I didn't really check into online reviews of them. The dealer has not responded to us in any way, and they did tell us if we didn't buy the extended warranty that they would not fix anything that was wrong with it. It would have to be up to Forest River. As we were in the trailer longer, we couldn't get rid of the mold and mildew situation. We paid a transporter to move the trailer from our RV site to another dealer to have it inspected. They've done an inspection, and that's when they found that there were at least 5 leaks in the roof that were open gaping holes, and they're waiting to hear from Forest River. This particular model, the Wildcat 262 RSX, is designed for residential living. I have very strong concerns about the ability for them to repair it to where it's safe to inhabit it. I just want out of this trailer. I would prefer a buyback.
So this is 3 Forest River cases in a row. The first video, it took having the video released because I always give them a heads up before publishing the video. Once that video came out, Forest River woke up and sent the help to Dara. And then last week's video, I was going to tell you that nothing happened, even though that also was a big video, thanks to you. But I just got this email from Susan and Tim. They're the ones with the coachman. And she said they received a call from the Director of Owner Relations. He discussed every item of concern on their list. He's committed to working directly with Susan and Tim to ensure that all repairs are properly done and that they have a full resolution. So the Forest River campaign that I've been on is working. So thank you, Forest River. I did contact them about TJ's case, and they contacted the dealer who sent or who will send a technician out to inspect his trailer. Now, we know his trailer is not in good shape, so hopefully they will do the right thing to make it right, either a buyback or a refund. So I will definitely keep you updated on that. And honestly, I'm not meaning to pick on Forest River. I am a Forest River fan. I own a 2017 Forest River trailer. Now, there are lots of people who love their Forest Rivers, but those are the ones that are older, because around 2019 and newer, they took away all the things that I love about my Forest River trailer. They went from solid wood cabinetry to cheap painted like press board, fiberboard, whatever that stuff is called. And I had enclosed, and I love these, I have enclosed air conditioners. So they're ducted so I don't see the air conditioners. It makes it so much quieter. They took that away, and they took away the solid shell underbelly, which is very, very good, keeps out all the rodents and varmints, and they went to the Coroplast. So Forest River, please bring back 2018 and older, bring back that quality. You have just a legion of loyal Forest River fans just waiting for you to wake up and return to quality and return to prioritizing your customer. What do you think Forest River should do for TJ? Let me know in the comments. And if you have a Forest River, let me know what year and how you like it. I would love to hear from you. As always, of course, please like, subscribe, and share. That's what makes this channel the force that it is. Thanks so much. I'll keep you updated, and I'll see you in the next video.